Let me tell you about the moment everything changed. It was 3 a.m., and I was staring at my reflection in a dimly lit gym mirror. Everyone else had gone home hours ago. My muscles were screaming, sweat dripping onto the floor, and something profound hit me. Comfort. Comfort was the enemy that had been holding me back all along. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve the impossible, while others remain stuck in mediocrity? What separates the warriors from the wannabes, the champions from the spectators? I'm not here to tell you how to live a comfortable life. I'm here to light a fire inside you. A fire so intense, so all-consuming, that it burns away every excuse, every doubt, every limitation you've ever placed on yourself. Let me share something that changed my entire perspective. I once trained with an Olympic athlete who taught me the true meaning of obsession. This wasn't about working out or winning medals. This was about becoming someone who is literally incapable of settling for less than their absolute best. He told me, balance? That's for people who are satisfied with mediocrity. Warriors don't seek balance when they're facing down their enemies. And he was right, because here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. When you're truly obsessed with greatness, every single decision you make becomes guided by that obsession. Every single one. The first truth, the all-consuming fire. Think about fire for a moment. It doesn't know half measures. It doesn't understand moderation. It either consumes completely or it dies out. Your passion for greatness must be the same. When you're truly obsessed, you're up before the sun. While others dream, you're turning those dreams into reality. You're out there grinding while the world sleeps, pushing boundaries that most people don't even know exist. Every day you get stronger. Every day you get better. Let me tell you about Marcus, a student who wanted to become a surgeon. People told him he wasn't smart enough, that his background wasn't right. But Marcus became obsessed. He studied while others partied. He practiced sutures until his fingers bled. Today, he's one of the top surgeons in his field. Not because he was gifted, because he was obsessed. Your challenge: for the next 21 days, identify one thing you want to master. Dedicate 1 hour before sunrise to it. No excuses, no distractions. Just pure, focused obsession. The second truth, the warrior's mindset. They'll try to break you. Life, circumstances, people, they'll throw everything they've got at you to see if you'll fold. And you know what you do? You take it. You take every punch, every setback, every failure, and you use it as fuel. Winning isn't a sometimes thing, it's an all-time thing. It's not about being the best when it's easy. It's about being unstoppable when it's hard. It's about being relentless, ruthless with your own weaknesses, and never giving an inch. Think of a samurai warrior. They don't train until they get it right. They train until they can't get it wrong. Their obsession with perfection isn't just about skill. It's about honor. It's about becoming someone worthy of their ambitions. Your challenge: create a warrior's journal. Every night, write down 3 battles you faced that day and how you conquered them. No victory is too small. Build your legacy one triumph at a time. The third truth, the lonely path of greatness. Here's something they don't tell you about obsession. It's lonely. You'll lose friends. People won't understand you. They'll think you're crazy. They'll try to pull you back into mediocrity because your dedication makes them uncomfortable. But let me tell you about discomfort. Discomfort is where growth happens. While others avoid it like the plague, you need to run towards it. Embrace it, fall in love with it, because the path to greatness is paved with suffering and sweat. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams. They didn't become legends by seeking comfort. They became legends because they were obsessed with excellence. They put in the work when no one was watching. They pushed through pain when no one was cheering. Your challenge: list everything you're willing to sacrifice for your dreams. Be brutally honest. Then list what you're not willing to sacrifice. These are your boundaries. Honor them both, but be prepared to be uncomfortable within them. The fourth truth. The shadow work, the true measure of your character, is what you do in the dark. When the cameras are off, when there's no applause, no recognition, that's when real warriors are made. Champions are forged in the shadows, in the moments that no one else sees. It's the grind that happens behind closed doors, the sweat that falls on empty gym floors, the hours spent perfecting your craft when no one else cares. Think about a sculptor working through the night, chipping away at marble. Each strike of the chisel might seem small, insignificant. But over time, those small strikes reveal something magnificent. Your obsession is the chisel. Your dedication is what reveals the masterpiece within. Your challenge. For the next 30 days, do something every single day that pushes you toward your goals. Something that no one else will ever see or know about. Build your character in the shadows. The call to action today, I challenge you to embrace obsession. Not the kind that destroys. The kind that builds. The kind that transforms. The kind that turns ordinary people into legends. Remember this. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Balance is the excuse of the mediocre. You were not born to be comfortable. You were born to be great. The final truth, let me leave you with this thought. Years from now, you'll be somewhere. That's inevitable. But where that somewhere is, that's up to you. Will you be telling stories about what could have been? Or will you be living the life that others only dream about? The fire of obsession is waiting to be lit inside you. The question isn't whether you have what it takes. The question is whether you're willing to burn everything that stands between you and greatness. Share your obsession in the comments below. Let's build a community of warriors who understand that greatness isn't given. It's taken. One obsessive, dedicated day at a time. Remember, the comfortable path is crowded. The obsessed path is where legends are made. Which path will you choose?
Have you ever stood at the edge of the ocean during a storm? Watched as massive waves crashed against the rocks while the wind howled its fury? And in that moment, smiled? Let me tell you about Sarah. 3 years ago, she lost everything. Her job, her home, her confidence. But standing in the ruins of her life, she did something remarkable. She smiled. Not because she was happy, but because she finally understood. The storm wasn't here to break her. It was here to forge her. You see, life's greatest storms aren't just the ones that rage in the sky. They're the ones that rage within. The ones that shake your foundation, test your resolve, and bring you to your knees. But here's what most people don't understand about storms. They're not your enemy. They're your arena for growth. Today, we're going to explore why the biggest storms in your life aren't here to destroy you. They're here to reveal who you truly are. Think about it. When was the last time a storm in your life made you question everything? Made you wonder if you had the strength to continue? That's exactly where our story begins. First truth. The storm is your stagio C. When storms arrive, people typically fall into two categories. Some seek shelter, while others become the shelter. Let me share a story about a young entrepreneur I worked with. His business was failing, debts were mounting, and critics were circling like vultures. Everyone told him to quit, to file for bankruptcy, to be realistic. But he understood something profound. The storm doesn't care about your fears. It doesn't care about your doubts. It persists regardless. And that's exactly why it's valuable. Because in the midst of that storm, you discover parts of yourself you never knew existed. Like steel forged in fire, your character is shaped in chaos. Challenge hash 1. Write down your current storm. Not just what's happening, but what it's making you feel. Be brutally honest. This is between you and the page. Second truth. The power of strategic resilience. Here's something crucial about facing storms. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Think of a bamboo tree in a typhoon. While mighty oaks crack and fall, the bamboo bends but doesn't break. Why? Because it's mastered the art of flexible strength. You need three elements to master any storm: mindset, your internal dialogue strategy, your action plan support. Your storm shelter. Remember working with a cancer survivor who told me something profound. She said, "The storm didn't ask for my permission to arrive, but it did give me permission to discover my strength." Challenge #2. Create your storm protocol. 3 specific actions you'll take when life's storms hit. Write them down. Make them your anchor. Third truth. The leadership paradox. Here's something fascinating about storms. They don't just test us, they reveal us. When the storm is fiercest, that's when true leaders emerge. Not because they're fearless, but because they've learned to transform their fear into fuel. Remember, some seek sanctuary, others become the sanctuary. Which will you be? I've seen this countless times in business, in sports, in life. The ones who emerge strongest from the storm aren't always the most talented or the most prepared. They're the ones who decide to use the storm's energy to power their transformation. Challenge #3. List 3 ways you can be a lighthouse for others while navigating your own storm. How can your struggles serve as strength for someone else? The Storm Strategy Framework. Let's break this down into actionable steps. Face the wind. Acknowledge the reality of your situation. Name your fears without letting them name. You stand firm in your purpose. Harness the energies the storm's pressure to fuel your growth. Transform opposition into opportunity. Build momentum from resistance. Lead through lightning. Be a beacon for others. Share your struggles. Strategic. Create community in chaos. Final truth. Here's what you need to understand about life's firestorm. Storms, they're not here to break you. They're here to break open everything inside you that needs to be unleashed. Every thunderclap is an opportunity. Every lightning bolt illuminates your path. Every fierce wind tests your foundations. The ultimate challenge right now. I want you to do something powerful. Stand up close. Your eyes feel the storm around you. Smile, because you're about to discover something extraordinary about yourself. The storm is formidable, but you are more formidable. The wind is strong, but your will is stronger. The night is dark, but your spirit burns brighter. Remember, tranquility always follows the storm, but don't wait for it to pass. Dance in the rain, fight in the wind, shine in the darkness. Closing thought. Let me leave you with this. Years from now, when people ask about your success, about your strength, about your unshakable spirit, you'll look back at this moment, this storm, and smile. Because you'll remember, this wasn't just a storm. This was your transformation. So let me ask you one final question. What storm are you facing right now? And are you ready to not just weather it, but master it? The storm is here. The stage is set. What will your story be? Let me tell you about the hardest fight you'll ever face. It's not in any ring. It's not on any battlefield. It's the one that happens every morning when you look in the mirror. The battle between who you are and who you know you could be. I used to stutter severely. Every word was a mountain to climb. Every sentence was a battle to fight. And you know what? Sometimes I still do. But here's the difference. I no longer care if I stutter in front of you. That's real confidence. Not the absence of fear, but the courage to face it head on. You see, most people have it all wrong. They think confidence comes from staying in their comfort zone, from doing things that make them feel good. But that's just a false reality. A beautiful lie we tell ourselves. Let me share something personal with you. I spent years sitting at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own. Not because it was easy, not because it felt good, but because it was necessary. That's where real confidence is born, in the trenches of your biggest struggles. Here's what I've learned about the inner battle and why it's the most important fight you'll ever face. Truth #1. The mirror never lies. There's a brutal honesty that comes when you're alone with your reflection. When there's no one to impress, no one to fool. Just you and the truth. And here's what I've discovered. If you don't have confidence in yourself, it's because what you say and what you do are not aligned. Think about that for a moment. Really let it sink in. If you say success requires hard work, but you're not working hard, how can you trust yourself? If you preach discipline, but hit the snooze button every morning, how can you believe in yourself, your daily challenge? Stand in front of the mirror tonight. Look yourself in the eye and answer one question. Did my actions today match my words? Truth #2. The discomfort zone is your growth zone. You want to know a secret? Confidence isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows, in those moments when no one's watching, when you're struggling, when you're facing your demons head on. People are always looking for an easier way. They ask me, isn't there a shortcut? A hack? A simpler path? No, there isn't. Living your dreams, changing your behaviors, overcoming negative habits, it's all challenging. It's all hard. And that's exactly how it should be. Picture a sword being forged. The metal doesn't become stronger by sitting in a display case. It becomes stronger through fire, through hammering, through pressure. That's your discomfort zone. That's where your power lies. Your challenge today: identify one thing that scares you, one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Now go do it, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Truth #3. The internal revolution. Let me tell you about the worst battles I've ever faced. They weren't against competitors, critics, or circumstances. The most painful, frustrating battles were always me against me. This is where true power is born. Not in trying to prove yourself to others, but in proving yourself to yourself. Not in dominating others, but in mastering yourself. Real strength, real masculinity, real power. It's not about being aggressive or pushing others around. It's about having an inner strength so solid that it naturally radiates outward. It's magnetic. It's authentic. And yes, it's beautiful. Your daily practice. Spend 30 minutes each day in what I call warrior meditation. Sit with your challenges. Face your fears. Don't run from the discomfort. Lean into it. Here's the key to building unshakable self-confidence. And I've seen this work with thousands of people worldwide. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Start small. If you say you'll wake up at 5 a.m., do it. If you promise yourself 30 minutes of exercise, complete it. If you commit to reading 10 pages, read them. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you lay another brick in the foundation of your confidence. Each time you follow through, you strengthen the trust between you and yourself. Remember this: at the end of each day, you should be able to look in the mirror and know that you poured it all out, that you gave your best, that you faced your fears instead of running from them. True confidence isn't about never failing. It's about rising above your circumstances. It's about handling the small challenges and the big ones with the same unwavering commitment to your growth. As we wrap this up, I want you to understand something profound. Everything you want, success, relationships, opportunities, wealth, will come to you naturally when you develop this kind of inner strength. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to prove yourself to anyone. Instead of reaching out to grab what you want, you'll become the kind of person that naturally attracts it. Here's my challenge to you tonight. When you're alone, ask yourself, am I keeping my promises to myself? Are my words and actions aligned? Am I facing my fears or running from them? Your answers will show you exactly where you need to focus. Remember, The battle isn't out there. It's in here, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. And the victory, it doesn't come from defeating others. It comes from defeating the doubts, fears, and limitations you've placed on yourself. The question isn't whether you can win this battle. The question is, are you ready to start fighting it? Your inner warrior is waiting. Your true power is calling. The battle begins now. Are you ready to face yourself?